Okay, today we are playing a game on Hanamura. We are in the Gold SR range, and we will be playing Zarya the entire way through. I don't know what our current team comp is, because I didn't write it down, and I'm behind schedule anyway, so I don't particularly care that much. There's no good reason for being behind schedule, I'm just a lazy bum. So let's just start the game. So, we find that Hammond is out here in an illegal position, and, you know, he's already picked Hammond, so, you know, he might not be the smartest person in the world, and then he proceeds to go for this. We are also on flowfeedback.com today. So, here's my issue with this thing, right? The very first comment, I've got an issue with it, right? I didn't expect the Hammond to actually go for the pile driver. What I expected the Hammond to do from this position is swing through us, do some damage, then swing back around the top of the archway, and then go back to his spawn, or go back to his team back at the gate. And the reason I expected him to do that is because pile driving us from this position when he doesn't know what our team composition is monumentally stupid. And I operate under the impression that we should assume that the enemy team is going to play well until we have been shown otherwise, because if you make your play based around the enemy team playing badly, you're playing badly yourself. You should assume the enemy team is going to actually play sensibly until you've been shown otherwise. Now, granted, this boy did pick Hammond, so he's made a mistake before the game even started, to be fair. But I didn't expect him to actually pile drive into us, because that's really fucking stupid of him to do that. Especially when he doesn't know what our team comp is. So, I would have been surprised about that. I expected him to just, like, bash through us, like, did some damage, good job, mate, going back to the team now. But no, he decided not to do that. To be fair, you could react to seeing the pile driver happen in the sky, and then bubble it as he's landing back down again, but I would have been surprised by that one. So we did bubble Moira right here. No reason to bubble Moira. Moira's not getting shot at. Nothing's about to shoot at Moira, so that doesn't end up turning into anything. General thing with how Zarya players are, or with Zarya bubbles in general, is that most people tend to put their bubble on somebody like, oh, that person's about to take damage, so I'm gonna bubble him, and then he won't take any damage at all. What usually happens is true, they don't take any damage, but usually they don't shoot the bubble either, because if they haven't started shooting at the person, what tends to happen is they just go, oh, right, hold on, 1 sec, yep, okay, now I'll start shooting at them. But it's harder to stop yourself shooting once you've already started shooting. And just baseline, if you wait until you or the other person are being shot at, you'll always get at least some charge off of it, because they aren't going to react frame 1 to your bubble appearing, and then stop shooting entirely. You're always going to get some charge off of it if they've already started shooting at you or the other person. Now, you know, you can take that too far the other way. If, like, Genji's flipping in front of your Mercy with the Dragon Blade out, okay, he's going to cut her. Probably don't have to wait to find out about that one. We can kind of infer what Genji's going to do. But you get a lot more charge if you just wait until you or the person start taking damage, rather than trying to preempt the damage, which usually ends up in gaining no charge at all. You can take it too far the other way, you know. Some people like to come out like, oh, if you just, like, walk out in front of the enemy team waiting to get shot at, you get hooked, flashbanged, and all that. Yeah, if they've got fucking hard crowd control over there, don't, like, be like, just get hooked first and then put the bubble on me, right? Like, I assume we've got some common sense, but some people have complained about that one before. Like, okay, if they got crowd control over there, don't do that. You know? Anyway, so, what are we talking about here? Your personal bubble will be, yeah, again, I would have been taken by surprise, though, so, you know, whatever. Start complaining about the very first thing that somebody says. That's just the kind of person I am, though. I like to argue with people. So we went out in front of them to get some charge, and when playing against a main, never poke your face out like this. So I take issue with that as well, right? Because we never actually go through the gate, which is the reason the wall would kill you. We go into the gate, but we don't actually cross the threshold of the gate. So we can't really get, like, walled off completely from that position. There's always going to be a gap, like there is right here, and then our team comes around with us. Now, the thing to say, though, instead, is we use the bubble from, like, really far away, and then, like, walk right up to the gate with it. If we're trying to get charge off of them, like, poking in the gateway, that's fine, but I would rather do something like stand right next to the edge of the gate, walk out, put bubble on self, start getting shot at, and then as the bubble duration is wearing off or it's taking damage, start retreating back again. So by the time the bubble's wearing out, you're basically back in cover again. Rather than what we do, which is kind of like run up to the center of the gate while our bubble all the way over here, walk right up to the gate then. Bubble's basically gone by that point. Now we have to walk all the way back away from the gate again when the bubble is gone. So, like, yeah, like, if you cross through the gate versus a Mei, that's gonna get you fucking killed. We never actually crossed the gate, though, so Mei's not gonna wall us off and kill us. It's just not how it actually works right there. Bubbling the Reinhardt right there. Yeah, not much point for that one. Does get us some charge, though, so who cares, right? If you had saved the bubble, you could have used it here instead of when he had shield to save you. Yeah, you know, it depends if you think the Reinhardt's going to do dumb shit or not, which they usually do. Because in an ideal world, if you bubble the Reinhardt, he isn't going to then afterwards just charge into the enemy team, you know, and do dumb shit. But unfortunately, Reinhardt players do stupid shit. I'd know. So, anyway, we died. We got walled off by Mei. It's unfortunate. So, the thing is with Mei on Hanamura is you've really got like two options, which are everybody goes through the gate together, right? So they're getting walled off, doesn't matter. Or you try and bait the wall out of Mei and then push in after the wall falls down because you can't get split off again at that point. Baiting the wall is difficult because if you fuck it up, you're stuck in the enemy team still. But the theory is just you walk through the gate a little bit. When you think she's going to wall you off, you jump back, you walk back, you're on top of the wall rather than cut off by it. And yeah, Zarya can try and bait that one out as well. It's usually the Reinhardt that's trying to do that, where you just slowly inch forward. The Mei's doing the thing where she sits around the gate waiting to wall you off. You just inch through, and then right as you think the wall is coming, you back up. Zarya can do the same thing, though, because you can walk through your bubble up and achieve essentially the same thing. What was happening now? Yeah, we bubbled Reinhardt as he charges off. It's going to get you a lot of charge, if nothing else, because they're going to try and focus him. Granted, you could have saved a teammate from Tyre, but that's a relatively difficult choice to make, considering Genji and Moira can still try to dodge it. And we already used our bubble when we heard the ult. Yeah, by the time we even hear fire in the hole, we've already used our bubble, so you can only make the decision based off what you see at the time. By the time we even heard the ult getting used, we'd already used our bubble, so, you know, life is difficult sometimes. So we're really fucking low health. Don't know why you're jumping around, though. You could have retreated with Junkrat. Mei ended up all the way over there. That's because I thought Mei was behind us, actually. Oh, she gets blasted away by Junkrat right there. Because I was looking at that like, if we went with Junkrat, we'd be backing up into Mei with 21 health. She's actually over here now, suddenly. So, yeah, I guess so. I didn't actually know Mei got blasted over that way. Because I was gonna complain about that one as well. I was gonna be like, we are backing up into the Mei at 21 health. So what was the drawing? Show drawing. Show me the drawing. Mei killed Junkrat killed Mei with trap. Okay. That's nothing particularly special to write home about, really, but you know, whatever. Feels bad, man. Pro tip, if you're playing Junkrat and there's a Mei on the enemy team, when you see her use the cryostasis, throw a trap on top of it. Then when she comes out, she's immediately going to get trapped. And then she's fucked. It's 2 minutes in and you don't have ult. This is looking really bad for your team. Yeah. I mean, 2 minutes in, like, the way these matches often go is usually like one team stalls out in front of the choke point for a while, but then like, I mean, there's two ways 2CP goes, right? 3 ways, I guess. You either take it in one solid push and then stall out in the second checkpoint forever. You stall out in front of the first checkpoint forever, then push in overtime, and then roll over the second checkpoint, or you never take anything ever. That's basically how all 2CP maps go. It's a wonderfully designed map type, isn't it? So, what happened here? Your team should have pushed in with you, or you shouldn't have pushed up so far. But weren't able to use it at the choke. Playing passive and slowly pushing in is an option. The thing is, that's more predicated by what Reinhardt decides to do, rather than what we decide to do. We can sit back and want to poke as much as we want. If Reinhardt starts charging through, we kind of have to try and follow him up. We ended up dying to Hammond's Minefield, which is very sad, because Hammond's Minefield is vying for worst ultimate in the game. Supports are scared to push in or aren't sticking with tanks, making it hard for you to help them or for them to help you. You want to make it very clear. You push in through your action. You want to make it very clear you push in through your actions. That's a very badly written sentence. So, yeah, the thing is that it's difficult for the supports to follow us because their DPS are Mei Junkrat, which means it's scary to advance through that unless Reinhardt's going to walk us through with the shield, but we don't have a lot of control over that one as Zarya. Yeah, that's true. You can use your personal bubble pretty greedily, because you can more easily generate charge off of your own bubble, because you can always just do stuff like bubble self, walk across somebody's line of fire, walk across the choke point and all that. The other bubble is, you don't know exactly what the other person's gonna do, and if you use it purely to try and generate charge, you can end up not having the bubble when you need it. But yeah, if you're in like the poking phase still, which is what we're in right now, don't be afraid to just like jump in front of the choke point with your bubble up and get some charge. And like, if you got a tank who is working with you at all, it's very easy to just get 80 charge right there, because if like the Reinhardt's going to actually play well, right, you can bubble yourself, get like 30-40 charge off just walking in front of the choke point and taking some damage. Then you bubble the Reinhardt, or Winston, whatever, you know, whatever the other tank is. You bubble the other tank, and if they're sensible, they'll try and take damage as well. If the other tank's working with you, and you're in like the poking phase at the choke point, particularly on a choke point like Hanamura, it's quite easy to get 80 charge off of it, just 2 bubbles right there, but it's sort of based off of what your other tank does as well to actually get that. If you're playing, like, if you're playing anybody really, but especially if you're playing a tank, if you're playing with a Zarya, and the Zarya bubbles you, try to take damage. If you're playing Reinhardt, just, like, take your shield down and just, like, jump around in front of them. Try and take some damage. Try and get the Zarya some charge. To bubble in Rein's face, he can keep his shield up and avoid giving energy. However, when you see him drop his shield, you can bubble and get energy from him. Most Reinhardts don't cancel their hammer swings. Yeah, I honestly, most of the time, I expect them to just fire strike you anyway from that position. Whatever, yeah. If the enemy Reinhardt's sensible, he will in fact not shoot you. Or hit you, rather, but most Reinhardt players are pretty stupid. I'd know. There's a lot of shouting happening in the game right now. There's very dramatic shouting happening. Anyway, so while we were dead, most of their team died. Sick. So here we go, as we can see. We've done the thing where we were stalling out in front of the checkpoint for a while. Now we're going to capture the checkpoint, basically in overtime. We've got like 30 seconds left at this point. Can't quite see because the quality isn't very good, but so no, they're going to take it. We're going to take it at this point. Junkrat's come over here to stagger himself. He ended up dying to our Junkrat's trap. How tragic for him. It was nearly the entire round, and you still don't have all. It's quite bad, yes, but we haven't been very high charge, and we've died quite quickly, which is the issue. This is a very bad sign. Also, your aim doesn't even exist. It's like you don't even try. We haven't really been in many positions to shoot at people, honestly. Like, that's... First off, right, so that's... I begrudge anybody that phrases something like that. Because there's no reason to be so fucking insulting when somebody's looking for advice, right? Like, Alright, say your aim isn't fantastic, whatever. We haven't really been in many positions to shoot at them, frankly, which is another issue after being here for 4 minutes, or 3.5 minutes, but you know. If somebody has fucking come to you, right, if somebody is looking for advice and feedback on how to get better, don't be a fucking dick about it, okay? I begrudge people that phrase things like that, because there's just no reason to say that. To say it like that, right? You can just say, your aim isn't fantastic, work on, like, being more controlled and deliberate with your tracking, things like that. You don't need to go, also your aim doesn't exist, it's like you don't even try. That's just fucking insulting. There's no reason to be so condescending when people are looking for advice, right? If someone, it doesn't matter what it is, if someone has come to you looking for advice or feedback or anything like that, right? Don't be a fucking dick about it. You'd think that would be common sense, but you know, some people, like, there's just no reason to put it like that, except to be kind of an asshole. Because there's no reason to phrase it like that. You can just be like, try and be more deliberate. Try and slow down and more patiently track people, stuff like that. But no. It's like you don't even try. Anyway. Even players with bad aim can attempt to click their targets. There's nothing in front of you when Junkrat goes upwards, you just keep firing. That type of play is spray and praying, and usually means you aren't bothering to aim in the first place. Okay, like, you can phrase that sentence without being an asshole about it, right? If somebody's looking for advice, don't say shit like, it's like you're not even trying, honestly. Maybe if you put some fucking effort in, you wouldn't be so bad. Anyway, so we captured the checkpoint. May's still here, so she shouldn't be doing that. You get distracted a lot, then you, oh fucking hell, Jesus Christ. Then you just aim at nothing and die. At least you finally have alt 4 minutes in. And again, you're just being a dick about it, right? You can just say, try and focus on one target more rather than splitting your focus between multiple people, right? Or you could go, you know, you just aim at nothing and die. At least you finally have your alt 4 minutes into the game, you scrub. That's how I read it anyway. There's just not... Anyway, what are we looking at here? What the fuck does this even mean? I guess it's because we just, like, switched between two people right there. There are two people looking at Junkrat, and he just killed Anna, and he dies right here because you don't use your roll to save him. While not too impactful, you could have snowballed off of that, and he could be alive to push. Instead, your actions led to his death and being down a teammate. We have our bubble right now? I thought we just used it. No, we just used our bubble. No, we didn't use our bubble either. Alright, fair enough. Who's shooting at him? So first off, also, turn allied health bars on, because I wouldn't bubble Junkrat in this position unless I knew he was about to die, because there's a May and a Lucio shooting at him, right? I'm not gonna bubble the dude in this position unless it looks like he's about to be frozen. Unless I see that that Junkrat's about to die. In which case, fair enough, you bubble him in this position, because he's apparently only got, like, 3 hit points, it looks like, because he just, like, immediately dies. We don't know that. Right? Because we don't have the allied health bars turned on. Turn allied health bars on, because that would greatly impact what I'd do in this position. I ain't gonna bubble that dude unless I know he's about to die, which I don't know from this position because the health bar isn't on. If I see he's about to die, alright, fair enough. If he's not about to die, you don't just bubble the dude right here, because there's like 2 not especially threatening people shooting at him. May's only threatening if he's about to get frozen, or he's already low health. And he wasn't about to get frozen, we just didn't know he was low health. So turn allied health bars on. That would have affected what we did in that position. So, bubbled Reinhardt as he was charging in right there. Hammonds decided to use Minefield out here. It killed Moira, so I guess and Genji. Alright, great. Fucking... Hammond's ult is really bad. And yet, you know, if Junkrat was alive, you could alright... No, absolutely false. That's just outright fucking wrong. Because 2 people are already dead behind us. They just died to Hammond's minefield. Junkrat being alive affects some fucking 0 things about this push. Because 2 people fucking die right here. Right? Genji dies right behind us as well. So if Junkrat was alive right here, it would still be 4 versus 5. And we're missing Moira, one of the most important people, and Genji, who we're kind of relying on as a combo for Dragon Blade, really. I ain't gonna use Graviton right here, because the fight doesn't honestly look that good from this position. Where the fuck's Reinhardt, also? Reinhardt charged off, but then we, like, never saw him again? Oh, he's hopping back right now. Okay, he's probably, like, close to death, honestly, given the charge that he made right there. So, like, no. If Junkrat was alive right here, I ain't gonna use Grav right there. Fight doesn't actually look that tenable, honestly. But, yeah, you could spam around 3 of them, and then their Ryan shield was nowhere near good. Like, we're still missing 2 people right now, and one of them is Moira, who is a pretty important member of our team right now, so... I don't agree with that one. If Junkrat was alive right there, I still don't think using Grav in that position is the correct play, because it's still, like, even if Junkrat's alive, it's still 4 versus 5 from that position. I ain't about it. Because the rest of their team is regrouping at that point behind them. Maybe, you know, maybe Junkrat could, like, spam into them and kill them, but, like, they're still regrouping behind them, and we're not pushing in with a full team. We used Graviton at the gate to kill a couple of them, maybe, but, like, then we're going to push in to the rest of their stalling team behind them, and not capture the checkpoint, because we don't have adequate follow-up there to actually, like, capture the checkpoint. They'll stall us out, and then push us off eventually, because it's 2 CP. Their spawn's right fucking there. They'll regroup way faster than we will in that position. So, I don't agree with that comment at all. Because even if Junkrat's alive, the fight's still not in our favor. Anyway. So, and May's got Blizzard as well. Hindsight's 20/20, but now we know also, yeah, it definitely wouldn't have fucking worked, because she would have just chucked that at us, wouldn't she? Anyway. What's that? What did that say? Do you panic when you're aiming? That's what it looks like. It doesn't actually look like misjudged shot. It looks like panic. This was a problem I had for a pretty long time with aiming, is that I would get, like, really flustered about the whole thing, and, like, way overthinking what I'm trying to do, right? And, like, if I'm playing a hero that actually has to aim, I'm usually playing, like, McCree or something, when panicking is quite bad. It's something you just kind of get used to, but most fights that you're in, if you just take a second to, like, chill and breathe, your aim gets a lot better, usually. Panicking is bad. Shows you can aim, like... the problem is there's so much going on, you don't know how to take it all in, and you enter an overwhelmed state. Yeah, you know, like, if you just, like, if in a fight you find yourself shaking around a lot, or, just panicking, and just, like, take a second and, like, breathe, and, like, assess the situation, and just try and, like, chill out. The enemy isn't even scared of it at this point. Would they be anyway, though? It's like... Graviton is, like, one of those things where, like, people are very rarely playing around it, and they tend to just kind of get fucked by it suddenly. So we do have 6 ultimates right now, and they just use Blizzard, which is, like, their biggest stalling ultimate, so... I fucking hate listening to the people playing this game. 'Cause what I've just heard... for the last, like, 10 seconds is somebody going, "My blade is ready to be unleashed," like that, over and over and over again. Because apparently that was so fucking funny, it was worth repeating, like, 3 times. So, anyway, Hammond's doing a Hammond thing over in the gate right there. So, where the fuck, what's going on right now? So, we pushed in like this, this is, like, such an awkward way to try and, push in, because I'm trying to fucking pause the video, but I clicked off of it at some point, apparently. Because we pushed it off the high ground, and then we just jumped in on the bridge anyway, where Hammond is spinning around on the point in front of us, regardless. So, the whole point of going about the up is so you don't have to go across the bridge and through the choke point, but we had then elected to go down and jump on the bridge anyway, which is not really ideal. There's not even anybody up here, so we could just go up there and take the high ground and then jump in down on them, right? So, neither of the popular options on Hanamura are very easy to actually push through, right? Because like even if you go high ground, right, you're pushing through this very narrow choke point all the way up where you're usually getting spammed into, right? Going through the choke point in the gate is not exactly great either because you have this giant expanse you have to push across on the bridge through the choke point. The actual best way to try and approach the objective, you'll, like, good luck getting your team to do this, right? It's one of those things that's good, but good luck getting your team to do it. Like how on Volskaya, the first checkpoint, people always sit up under the fucking bridge. What you really should do is just, like, sit back next to the point, play off the high ground, and then, like, just rotate to whichever side they try and push around. And then you can use the side of the box as a choke point, and then your team are up on the high ground behind you. It's very hard to get to them, it's harder to get flanked, whereas up in the gate, sight lines aren't that good, it's really easy to just get, like, pushed in on and crushed, things like that, you know, whatever. Good luck getting your team to do that, though. The actual, like, best way to attack this point is, like, jump down here, go up the tunnel over there, rotate around the backside, and then push in through here. Because this is a much easier way to push into the enemy team, right? Points right here. If somebody's back here, they can't shoot at you. They have to actually, like, come forward and actually shoot at your team. You got a Reinhardt, you can just walk through. If people are up there, whatever, you're touching the point now. You just got into the point. They probably weren't expecting you to come that way either, honestly. And you just walk in, contest the point. People have to jump down to contest you. You got a large health kit back here to support you, stuff like that. Like, that's actually the best way to push into the objective. But good luck getting your team, like, good luck being to your team. Alright, here's the plan. We're going to walk in, then we're going to jump off the left side of the bridge, then we're going to walk up the left-hand side, rotate round, and then push in from the staircase on the left. Good luck with that one. It's, like, the best option, because, like, the other two options pushing into this checkpoint are fucking terrible. But, yeah, that's what, and then, you know, 2CP map spawns really fucking close, shit like that, but, like, good luck getting your team to do that. So, anyway, Hammond's doing that, which is really obnoxious, you know, he's playing Hammond and all that. Lucio just used Sound Barrier, we got Earth Shattered. We're not really looking around a lot, we're, like, focusing on this boy over here. I don't really know where, like, anybody on the enemy team is. And then Reinhardt used Earth Shatter behind us. It's not really our fault if we get Earth Shattered. Like, it's Reinhardt's responsibility to block the other Reinhardt's Earth Shatter. So, you know, this could have been used a lot earlier in a new one found up, but how look, yeah, like, wait, what did you say at the end of that one? I deem that line of play impossible. I mean, you know, again, there's kind of just, like, being a dick for its own sake, really. So, you know, we only got one person in the Graviton, which is not great. By that point, we'd actually already killed a couple of them, so it might have been better to wait for them when you see the regrouping people coming out of the spawn, to chuck the Graviton on them, and then finish off the people trying to come back to the point. Like, you catch, like, their Mei in it, she ends up having to use her Ice Block before she gets to the point, and then she can't actually stall it out like Mei usually wants to, things like that. Obviously, only grabbing one person is not ideal. Do try and catch more people in it, but I mean, you know, also, no fucking duh, right? Because you blew all your ults at once, their spawn advantage kicks in, and it takes the point. So, that's not really the issue. Like, usually the way that you capture a checkpoint on a 2CP map, the second checkpoint anyway, is you throw a bunch of ultimates on them, wipe them all at once, and then they have to, like, rush out to try and touch the objective, if they can touch it at all. Because the 2CP maps, if they start staggering out, like, one at a time, and they all switch to stalling heroes, they can stagger it out for a really fucking long time, and, like, contest the objective for literal minutes in some cases. You do usually, like, throw all your ultimates on them, and then kill them all, start capturing the objective. You kill the reinforcing units as they're coming back out. The issue is, we used all our ultimates, but only killed a couple of people with them. If we had killed more of them with all of our ultimates, it would have been fine. Because if you use all 6 ultimates, but you kill all 6 members of the enemy team, you win the game. So it doesn't matter if you used all of your ultimates, because they never came back to try again. But, you know, whatever. I'm a very argumentative soul. I don't know if that comes across. This is why, like, if I'm playing the game, I don't join the voice chat because people say shit to me, and I'm like, you're wrong, and here's why. And then I give them a 6-point bulletin on why they're stupid, right? And then they're tilted. And then that's it. I'm having a great time. I fucking love arguing with people. I fucking revel in that shit. But they are tilted into lower orbit by that point. That's why I don't join the voice chat. Also, I just kind of hate people. That's a different issue, though. I'm a very argumentative soul. I'm very opinionated and very argumentative, and I love to argue. I don't even have to win. It's not even about winning. It's just about the arguing itself, really. So, it's the best we're going to do. Unfortunately, we're in touch the objective or lose territory right now. We survived for a startlingly long time, all things considered, really, but we end up losing in the end. Sad days. So, it's not the end of the world. The thing I'm happy with still, like, honestly, 2CP map, it's not that shocking if you don't capture the second checkpoint. What I'm happy with is that we got some progress on it, right? As long as you get over the first tick, you can still win, right? Because realistically, they're probably going to capture the first checkpoint. So if you didn't get the first tick, then you can't win from that position. The best you can do is draw. So I'm glad we got over 33% at least, because now they have to actually, like, push through and win. Drawing at that point isn't an option. It's not that shocking for a 2CP map to get decided where neither team actually captures the second checkpoints. Especially on a map like Hanamura, which is so very annoying to push into. And, like, Temple of Anubis, how often do you see the second checkpoint actually get captured on Temple of Anubis? It's probably, like, once every, like, 10 times I go to that map, I see the second checkpoint get captured. But on the flip side, Temple of Anubis is also where I played some of the longest games I've ever played. The longest game I ever played was about 46 minutes long, and this was back in Season 1 before the hero limit was put in. So it was Lijiang Tower. Old Lijiang Tower rules, so it was best of 5 rather than best of 3. And both teams had 2 Lucios, 2 Winstons, 2 Tracers. So every point just took fucking forever to end because people kept getting back to contest it constantly. So that was the longest game I ever played. All the other longest games I've ever played have been on Temple of Anubis and Horizon, because the highest I've ever seen the counter go was 9-8 on Horizon Lunar Colony. 2CP maps get really fucking stupid if neither team is competent at defending, or conversely, both teams are really good at attacking. But also, more often than not, it just turns into, well, first checkpoint got captured within the first couple of minutes, and now we're going to sit on the second checkpoint for 6 minutes. Slowly getting tilted as we push in, and each push fails, one after the other. Life is difficult. I hate 2CP. Who doesn't, though, right? Hot take, 2CP maps are not super well balanced. I ended up pushing a button that took me off the window. I didn't see what that one said. Enemy team isn't pushing in. Ryan has shield. That bubble did nothing. So you can still get charge, even if the Reinhardt is holding a shield up. So that doesn't necessarily matter. If you're just using the bubble to try and get charge off of him, it doesn't matter if he's holding his shield up, really. It's easier to get charge if he takes his shield down. But if he holds his shield up, you still get charge. As long as they shoot relatively in the vicinity of Reinhardt under the shield, you still get charge off of it. So, it doesn't matter if he has a shield up or not. If you're purely looking for charge, doesn't matter if he has a shield up. Which, you know, if you're in the poking phase of the game, you're mostly looking to build up charge at that point anyway, so doesn't matter if he has a shield up. If the goal is just to get charge. Ideally, he takes it down and makes it easier makes it easier to take damage so that you get more charge off of it, but I mean, you know. So this guy's actually stupid. What's the train of thought right there? I'm gonna roll through all 6 of them and they're just gonna let me. Yeah, they're just... None of them at any point are going to consider, maybe I should stop Hammond. I wouldn't want to kill such a cute little hamster, right? They'll just let me do it. So, here comes the tire. Ooh, the sound was, like, really out of sync on that one for some reason. This, like, the tire explosion was, like, way later. So, what a wall, right? Also, right there. So, Reinhardt shouldn't have done that. Reinhardt could have lived from that position, but he just decided that he didn't want to be alive. We've been nano boosted. I'm never excited about a nano boosted Zarya. I don't like it. There is an argument to be made for nano boosting Zarya, and the argument is she builds her ult really fucking quickly if she gets nano boosted and does damage. That's just save the nano boost to use on something more reliable, though, is my argument there instead. This position is bad because of you got knocked off because of that. Look, we lost this point, okay? At that point, who gives a shit? At that point, honestly, the correct play is die faster regardless, because we've basically lost this objective. And there wasn't that much, like, Reinhardt didn't need to die, but he decided to die anyway, and then a bunch of other people all died as well. So us being right there didn't really matter, because we were going to die regardless. So, like, if we could have backed out sooner, that would be cool. But, like, we're not going to contest the objective at that point. Half our team was dead. We were never going to win. So we might as well just die faster so we can regroup with our team faster also. If you're going to die, right? If you're going to lose the fight and you're going to die and you can't back out, or you're pretty confident you're going to die, right? Like, just die faster so you regroup with your team. I feel like tank players are particularly prone to this, where they can drag their deaths out for an extremely long period of time, and then they end up doing nothing but staggering themselves and end up taking longer to regroup with their team. Like, someone like Reinhardt can drag his death out for a pretty fucking long time, because if you end up on the wrong side of the enemy team, and the Reinhardt just backs up, like flicking his shield up all the time, right? He can end up dragging his death out for like an extra 10 seconds, but that didn't do anything except take him 10 seconds longer to regroup with his team, right? Someone like Roadhog can take a breather and survive for a really long time, but he ends up doing nothing but taking longer to die and feeding more ult charge. So he just staggers himself and gives the enemy team more resources to work with. So if you're pretty confident that if you're like sure you've lost the team fight and you're pretty sure you're gonna die, just die faster. Just regroup with your team faster, because the longer you prolong a death that is definitely coming for you, the longer it just takes you to regroup with your team and make a push that actually has a chance of winning. Ideally, you can back out, but if you can't back out, just die faster. And if you can't back out and you're gonna die, try and jump off a cliff if you can, because if you jump off a cliff, you don't take any ult charge, or die to an enemy team's ultimate. Like, if you know you're gonna die and Hanzo's used his dragon, just walk into the dragon. Because Hanzo doesn't get ult charge off of you dying to the dragon, but you dying to the fucking McCree over there shooting you, that gives him ult charge. So, tank players are the biggest source of ult charge for the enemy team. Try to minimize how much ult charge you give to the enemy team, and how long you stagger yourself. Especially, like, D.Va has, like, a built-in stagger mechanic. D.Va players, like, stagger themselves almost every fucking time they die, whether deliberately or not. I don't think there was anything you could do about it. It's a charge you didn't see coming. Yeah, you would have... I mean, you could have reacted, but it was literally like a 0.3 second window to bubble that charge right there, so if you see it coming before you saw it coming. Maybe you listen for it coming and think you put it up just in case, but, like, realistically, nah, we probably just get charged right there. So we've already won this team fight. Like, I'm not super stoked about this one, because it looks like we're probably going to win this team fight by this point. Like, they haven't got many people left at this point. Reinhardt's running around nano boost, but the nano boost is almost over at this point. There aren't many people alive on the enemy team still. The ult only catches 2 people. Because she's, like, out. It only catches these 2 people. Oh no, Hammond rolls into it as well, so I mean, I guess, like... I don't think we need to use it in that position. I think we've won the team fight already by that point. There's the argument to be made, well, just guarantee you win the team fight instead. But with like, to be fair, like, I'm bad at using Graviton, so maybe this is rich coming from me, but I feel like we already won that team fight, and Zarya's ultimate is so strong that I don't want to use it on a team fight we've already won or have already lost, if at all possible. There's a hand. What's going on right now? But I wouldn't recommend trying that. While Pachi thinks it wasn't warranted, I disagree, as you always have your own personal role to enable plays like this. I mean, if nothing else, you get ult charge off of it. right? Like, or not alt charge. If nothing else, you get energy off of it, right? So, who cares? Well, at the same time, right? Like, you weren't likely to die from that position. If you bubble the Reinhardt, maybe he gets out. He probably doesn't, but I mean, you got 40 energy off of it. I'm kind of selfish like that, but like, high energy Zarya is the best hero in the game, so if you gotta use a bubble here or there to get to high energy, you know, if you gotta throw it on a person who's gonna die now and then to get the high energy, hey, whatever, you became the best hero in the game. Worth it. And you get to build up your very strong ultimate faster. Okay, so they've only got 3 minutes 40 seconds left. So, you know, they've still got quite a few pushes left in them. Fortunately, their Hammond is really stupid, which is giving us a big buffer, because this boy, like, what's he doing? He's accomplishing nothing except feeding us alt charge right now and making sure his team comes in 1v5, or 1v5? 5v6. He came in 1v6. So, yeah, Blizzard right here, we can get out. We don't quite get out. No, we just got out. All right, okay, all right. Then we switch through the graviton, we switch through the teleporter. Managed to avoid dying. You saved a teammate and positioning May ult and lived around to tell the tale. Using your ult to save a teammate is always worth it. Yeah. People being alive is pretty important, and your job as a tank is to keep people alive. So yeah, it is always. Is that wasting bubble? No, we were trying to walk into Junkrat's body. It looked like right there. Seeing as we jumped right over it, whatever. Like if we walk over it, we get 40 charge. I'm fine with that. It's also, like, it's always worth using your personal bubble to get more charge as far as I'm concerned, because you can always just position more cautiously while your bubble is on cooldown, so by all means use your personal bubble to get ult charge. I'm all for it, or to get energy rather. I need to... Ult charge is for your ultimate, energy is what Zarya builds up. It's worth getting to high energy. High energy Zarya is the best hero in the game, so by all means use your personal bubble to get more energy. As far as I'm concerned, that's the main use of your personal bubble. So we've got Graviton built up right now. I would have used it right here. I would have probably used it sooner than this. I would have used it, like, right here. Mostly just because I don't want the nano-boosted Reinhardt to get anything done, but that's also going to still catch 3 people. So I would have used it sooner, but, you know, we essentially accomplished the same thing. Still capture 3 people in it. One of them's Reinhardt, you know, whatever. That's fine. I would have used it a little bit sooner, but we did the same thing, so who cares, right? Same thing got accomplished. So now we're being real greedy, thirsty hoes. They are respawning, so we can get away with chasing people a little bit further to try and stagger them, but we chase them way too far. If you wipe the enemy team, try not to go any further than the large health kit hut. Because if you kill 5 people, or 4 people, but like 1 or 2 people are hobbling away, because they're respawning, like, it's going to take them at least 10 seconds to get back, right? They have to respawn. So it's going to take, like, it's going to take on average, like, 15 seconds for the enemy team to get back. You can chase them in a little bit to try and get the extra, because if you kill those people and stagger them, then you've bought yourself an extra, like, 7 seconds where they can't really push in, and any time you can buy yourself is fantastic. Any free time you can buy yourself is great. So, you know, you can chase people out a little bit far to try and stagger people in that situation, but try not to go, like, beyond the hut with the health kit in it, because at that point you're starting to overextend, because they'll be respawning and you've got really far to go back to get to safety. If you're a particularly mobile hero, you can get away with going a little bit further. Like, if you're someone like D.Va, you can just jump back through the window and get back to safety really quickly. But, you know, feel free to try and chase down the stragglers to get the stagger kill on them, because staggering people is, like, really strong. It's just, like, an extra, like, 10 seconds. They can't do anything. So it's great. But do be careful not to overextend and get too greedy. So, there's no benefit to bubbling sim right here. True enough. By the time it was useful, it passed. Yeah, that's true. So, now lots of ultimates are getting thrown on us. We don't have our ultimate right now to fend them off with, so the best we can do is just try and build up charge and bully people as much as we can. Damn, Sim built her ult up again really fucking fast. So we've had armor this whole time as well, which has been fantastic. Zarya with armor is like also the best hero in the game. Sim's wall right here is actually putting in a surprising amount of work as well, because we get to just keep dancing back and forth through it. And now we've managed to recover. May's thrown her ultimate out, which is definitely going to kill off all of their fucking momentum. Sim's wall Sim's wall is MVP right there. It's the kind of thing that'll never get play of the game, but like Sim's wall actually put in a lot of work during that team fight. So we've built up most of Graviton again. At this point, what's their time? They've only got 20 seconds left. It's free real estate. We're going to build up our ultimate, and that should be good enough to win the fight at this point, because they're going to start rushing in really, really hastily. I'm fine with that. The thing is, we do need something to actually, like, combo with it, really. Because even though we catch those people in it, we can't... It doesn't really convert into much other than killing Reinhardt. You can argue that's enough, given that we're already in a commanding position at this point. But I'm not... It's fair enough to use the Graviton right there, but we didn't really have a great follow-up for it at the time either. We see the play of the game. But I mean, also... Wait, what? What did that one say right there at the end? Close losses and draws, not wins. As long as it's a close match, who gives a shit? Like, doesn't matter necessarily. Like, ideally, it's a very close game you lost, yes. But if it's a close game you won, same thing, right? It's basically the same thing. It doesn't matter. The types of games you don't want to show people for, like, VoD reviews are, like, games where you got crushed or games where you crushed the enemy team. You basically just want the game to be really long. Ideally, it's a close game you lost, because then there's more likely to have been a situation where you could have tipped the game in your favor, and it's important to identify things like that. But if it's a close game you won, doesn't really matter, because there's still going to be a bunch of shit you did during that game to talk about. Like, there's a bunch of shit to talk about in this game, so it doesn't really matter if it was a loss. So, like, this is what I love about the videos that are on flowfeedback.com. I just sit here and complain about all these people who are saying things, because I so very rarely agree with what the comment says, but I'm just an argumentative type of soul like that. So, what stood out the most in this game? If somebody's asking for advice, don't be a dick with how you give your advice, okay? You don't want to make people feel bad for looking for help, which should be common sense. But common sense is severely lacking in this world most days, honestly. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us, and I hope you found the video helpful.